Hello, game. Gonna get Cagnia. Yeah, I mean, at this point you all know what to expect. And if you don't, then, well, I'm 100%ing the game. There's some of the statues I've got, and the next Pokemon I need to get is Cagnia. I have this list. Oh yeah, dear. Yeah. I still had things set up for grinding. Why did I deposit my app? Anyway, that's always good. Let's take some stuff out of storage. I need an apple. And a huge apple. Why do I need these two items? Well, the huge apple is for the dungeon. And then the apple is because I still need the Munchlax event. Which is random, and if you give Munchlax an apple, it will join your team. But for now, Mount Thunder I believe it is. Yeah, Cagnia, Joyous Tower, or the Cave, or Mount Thunder. That's gonna be Mount Thunder then. It only lives on the first floor, 4 floors of it. Hooray. That's one Cagnia down. I think Cagnia is actually a pretty cool Pokemon. I don't think I've ever used it. Because now it's still grass, but I believe Cacturn is grass and dark. But I don't believe I've ever used one. No thanks. Would be nice if I just get both my Cagnias and be done with it. I didn't bring an escape orb, I believe. No. Oh well. Same color scheme, wrong Pokemon. I just remembered I should probably put my phone on the charger. This is gonna be another one of those. Oh well, never mind. I'm moving on apparently. But Thunder does not have patience with me. Am I at the point in the game that I'm so early that basically everything joins? Yeah, but you're the wrong Pokemon. I need a Cacnea. Alright, let me... Oh, that's nice. Let me connect those rooms. What I'm gonna do now is connect all rooms, which I can do. Stand in the center one and just wait. Let me guess. Cacnea's chances of getting aren't the best. Or neither end that I don't have a use for. And that's what you bring the huge apple for. I mean, that's just so mean. This dungeon really does not have the patience. All I want is a Cacnea. Like, that's not good. I'm not even finding a Cacnea. Well, I am finding a Pidgeotto. That works. I got somewhat excited when I saw the yellow and green, but then I realized it's not a Cacnea. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to go and back a second time in order to get it. Oh, let's go to Flyaway Forest, that part of the list, and see how many Pidgeottos I like. Made the decision I was gonna have. Yeah, no, do. Okay. Then I'll settle for 2 Pidgeottos. Like, I don't care. Okay, that still means I have to go back a second time for the other Cacnea, but... I'm okay with the 2 Pidgeottos. Oh, I actually kinda needed an apple. I wasn't even going for Pidgeotto until a while, but... Like, Flyaway Forest isn't until page 7 out of 9, so... I'll take it. Almost at the end of it. I just love that, like, at this point in the game is still like, oh no, sweetie, it's a 13th floor dungeon with a boss at the end. Have a save point after the 10th floor, and like, dungeons after that are just like, yeah, here you go, 40 floors with a boss at the end. Save point? Never heard of them. And then you just are expected to just complete things in one go. Let's stripe off the Pokemon because they're now secured. And mark that I only need one Cacnea. Good question. I know there's this desert dungeon. Why doesn't Cacnea not live over there? I mean, it's literally a cactus. Or cacti, or however you want to call it. A desert plant. Why does it not, I don't know, live in that specific dungeon, which I don't think I'll ever understand that logic. Let's go see Furnace Desert. Oh yeah, no, all I still need is a second Cacnea. I've got a Trapinch, 2 Vibrava. One Cacnea, yeah. No, all I need is a second Cacnea. There's the huge apple I need. And the rest can be put in storage. I need to go and check for the second reward statue as well. Nothing. have them almost complete. Might be a wise idea if I connect these two. There we go. Wrong Pokemon again. I was actually still looking for Cacnea. That's a Weedle. Yes! The second Cacnea! Now I can just move along. I don't think I now have anything left in Mount Thunder. I don't need the Nidorans anymore because I've got the Nidoran line completed. So that took about 30 minutes to get a Cacnea. At least I got both of them. which is of course always fun. Perhaps next stream I'll do like a round of grinding out evolution items, because I still believe I need a couple. And we now have the second Cacnea. Good. Then all I need to do there is evolve. Next friend area is gonna be Safari. So Doduyo, I think I'm gonna pull that one out of Pitfall Valley. Still need a Rhyhorn. Kangaskhan and Miltank, but Kangaskhan and Miltank live in the same dungeon. That's a handful of Pokemon I am gonna bring escape orbs for, because most of those just live in long dungeons. Or in just remarkably dangerous ones. Wait, I do need the escape orb. I would prefer to have a Doduo that's a bit stronger than the one I have now, so I can just immediately evolve it. Yeah, Pitfall Valley. Let's go for that one. Also, if I see like the order of these dungeons, then I do believe I've done some story things slightly out of order. But that doesn't matter. I hate the fact I can't just get Swallow. I have to get a Talo out of, I believe Joyous Tower it is, and then drain it. Which is just gonna take forever. What's that for a room layout? Do I need a far-fetched? Apparently not anymore. Nope. Yeah, no, I already have a far-fetched. Alright, let's go find the Doduo. Well, it's a bird, but not the right one. I have you guys complete as well. At least I've got everybody that I need. Oh well, that was where to go. And there's the Dodeo. Let's see, can this one evolve already? No, but it's certainly a whole lot closer to evolving than like a level 11 one. Yeah, level 31, but at least this one is level 25. That's a whole lot closer to level 31 than level 11. Let's go to Southern Cavern for my Rhyhorn. Yeah, Southern Cavern would be a good one. At least then it's of a decent enough level that it might actually be capable of evolving right from the get-go. It's gonna be a long dungeon because Southern Cavern, like, I need to be on floor 31 before it starts spawning, but oh well, doesn't matter. It's either that or training up one of those weak ones until it evolves. I should probably go and check what level it is now. Oh wait, that one's already from Southern Cavern. I'm gonna get the other one out of Frosty Forest. Much simpler. I mean, only one of them has to be powerful enough. The other one? Eh, well, that can be a bit of a noodle. I mean, there's no point in getting two strong ones if I already have one that's strong. And if no, I'm gonna go Frosty Forest. I still can't get used to the fact that I now have a Mr. Mime statue. I think it looks weird. But I don't think in the game I've ever gotten more than just a Bonsly statue. I'm also really looking forward in the new month to bringing back the vocal synth streams. I miss those. That's kind of the thing, like the people online really seem to like the Vocaloid covers, so on YouTube. But also I really liked making them, which I can't do at the moment. No, I'm not gonna piss off Kecleon today. Let's make a save. That way if I can boot it out of the dungeon, I can just reset until I'm... so that I'm back here. And that's my Rhyhorn. Do I still need a second Metang? No. I'm good for Metangs. Oh, they're still level 16. I thought they would be weaker. I still don't know what the weather effect snow does. I know what rain and sun and cloudy do, but I still don't know what the and hail and sandstorm. But I still just full on don't know what snow does. It's probably a debuff or just a buff to ice types or something like that. Oh, come on. Is it really just down here? Yes, apparently it is. There we go. That stripe of Rhyhorn off the list. And now I only need Miltank and Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is on Western Cave 13 till 19, and then Miltank, Western Cave 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 to 53, 60 to 98. So I need to get the Miltank from floor 10. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to do multiple rounds for the Miltank, don't I? Don't tell me that stupid Munchlax will only spawn after you do a rescue mission. Because if that's the case, I'm gonna have to do missions just to get the Munchlax. Also, I kinda don't like the fact that Munchlax is like linked to randomness. There it is. One final check if it's really Western Cave. Yes. Western Cave, here I come. Also, if I don't get the Miltank on floor 10, I can always get it on floor 20. I already have Snubble and Gramble, like. Both of those are non-essential. not just Miltank, I also need a Kangaskhan. Which is, that's gonna be fun. And anyway, hello, good day to you as well. And I don't even think that that's the only Pokemon I still need from Western Cave. I am hopeful. Not too hopeful, but somewhat hopeful. That was a very good warp. Yeah, I really do hope so. I did actually get one of the other reward statues. So that's a good thing. I got the Mr. Mime. No, the Mime Junior statue. And when it comes down to RNG, I still need the Munchlax event. Which is, yeah, which is a requirement for getting Munchlax. And the RNG, well, it has been very kind to me already today, so I'm not too hopeful anymore. Like, but doesn't matter. I mean, for all I know, things will be fine. I mean, I've had Kangaskhan join before, or trying to join, but either I was needing to go to a different floor and they just wouldn't survive, or I was simply going for something else. So Kangaskhan I'm not afraid of. Miltank is a bit obnoxious, but not necessarily because of its join ratio, more because it's like limited. It's like really limited in where you can find it. That's one long confusion. I'm pretty certain it's more common on the higher floors. Miltank lives on floor 20, floor 10, floor 20, floor 30, 40, 50 to 53, and 60 to 98. So I know it's more common on higher floors, but I'm gonna hope I can get one from the 10th or the 20th floor. Yeah, it is one of those dungeons. At least I don't have to get to Mewtwo anymore. Like, this is the dungeon that has Mewtwo. And that's a Pokemon I already have, so... So that's at least something I've got going for me. At least do not have to get Mewtwo at the end of this anymore. It took me 2 tries for the simple reason that the first time I had a full party and I didn't know that Mewtwo was basically a 99% join chance. So I simply didn't have the party space for it to join, so I had to redo the dungeon. Yeah, that was a bit of an issue. I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, that was a bit annoying for me too, but it's not that bad. I mean, I I want to go and take out Mewtwo with Poliwrath. Like, Mewtwo is... Yeah, but then, like, where things get weird, for instance, is the Reggies, which I know normally associate with being huge Pokemon, are only one size. Are only size 1. I believe that, like, in the anime and everything, like, the Reggies are bigger than Articuno, but Articuno is a size 4 Pokemon, while the Reggies are only size 1. That's something I still think is weird. And I also believe that, like, Mewtwo is... Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Also, I can understand Pokemon, for instance, like Rayquaza being size 4. But would that not make, like, the legendary birds not, I don't know, a size 2? Because they're significantly smaller than Rayquaza. Yet they have the same sizing. So that's also a bit weird. Oh no, I completely forgot to look for Miltank in the previous floor. Oh well, floor 20 then. Yeah, the sizing is weird in this game. Yeah, okay, but it's nowhere nearly the same size as, let's say, Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre. And it's even, and like, those are still being dwarfed by Lugia and Ho-Oh. Like, it still doesn't make sense. They should have assigned more Pokemon to the 2 and 3 and the 3 size. Yeah, and it doesn't stay there because, like, a lot of because that's something I've noticed is, like, legendaries only got bigger throughout the years. I mean, if you look at it, like, the legendary birds are large, but they are large enough that they can, like, take 2 or 3 people with them, and Mew fits on your shoulder, and Mewtwo is roughly the same size as a human. But, like, over the years, like, legendaries have just grown bigger. Bigger and bigger and bigger. I should be looking for my Kangaskhan though. The 3rd gen legendaries were huge, but those are basically were involved in creating the world. And then Groudon and Kyogre got, like, primal forms, which are even larger, I believe. I'd almost forgotten what I was here for. I'm here for Kangaskhan. I already completely missed out on the Miltank floor. Is there really nothing here anymore? Wow, that's... Yeah, I completely forgot about that myself. Anyway, let's stand in the corner and wait until I find a Kangaskhan. Oh well, at least Kangaskhan ends at floor, like, 19, so after that I still have 1 floor for Miltank. Speaking about legendaries, what's your favorite legendary? I'm always curious about that. I mean, my favorite legendary, let's see. I think I'm gonna have to stick with Articuno. I really like that one. It's not particularly strong and every single rock type attack will absolutely destroy it, but it's got a soft spot in my heart. Yeah. I don't think there's a legendary I particularly hate. I do have legendaries I forget about. For instance, Heat Run. I always forget that one exists. And I'm not even certain if that's a legendary. That might just be a mythical. Yeah, that's the thing. In mainstream games, unless it's a forced capture, I never get the legendaries. And in this game, I'm just doing it because I want to complete the game, which it just requires getting them. But otherwise, I also rarely go and get the legendaries. I mean, I did use Manaphy in my playthrough of Shining Pearl. Of that one, but that's mostly because that one came with it and I made the decision I deserved it. Because I have Pokemon Ranger, like the original version. And I had actually played it through till the extent I could transfer the Manaphy egg again. And then the Switch version did not accept that, so I was just like, you know what, I'm using Manaphy. Like, I've done it legitimately when those games came out the first time, so I'm now gonna use it. Yeah, I know. Like, I worked for that Manaphy, especially like in the original Pokemon Pearl. Like, I was the one that had Pokemon Ranger, finished it out. Yeah. I mean, it came in very useful. But it also doesn't... I have to admit, that team that I used for Pokemon Pearl, I'm surprised I got through the game with it. I'm just surprised. It wasn't... Seeing as that's like one of my most played generations, I was just like, I'm gonna go for Pokemon that I think are fun. Not necessarily strong. So that's how you'd end up with like a Pachirisu being your main Pokemon. It's not recommended. I always like completing Pokemon games with like less viable themes. Like a couple of Pokemon that you normally wouldn't consider. I always keep Raticate in my team for the Kanto games, but that's because Raticate in those games is actually kinda powerful. And also Furret is adorable. I am fully planning of one day doing like a Pokemon Nuzlocke on stream. But I first have to finish this game, and I'm pretty certain the next game is not gonna be Pokemon. I mean, I'm already close. I believe I've gone over the 120 hour mark in this game at this point. So, next game is not gonna be Pokemon. Next game is gonna be something different. Yeah, and I'm still not there. Like, I have like the Pokemon that I still need in like a Microsoft Word document. And even when you like take out the Pokemon I already had, I have like 9 pages of Pokemon I still need to get. And I'm on page 2 of 9. And there are some friend areas that I just don't have any Pokemon for yet. So yeah, and also I've spent so much time now in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and the irony is, guess what I'm currently playing on my Switch in my off time? Just take a guess. Like, I do really like these games, but I'm also like, no, playing the same games, like the remake on Switch, in my spare time, and I'm playing Fire Red. Also, I have like the cartridge laying about here, like on another like shelf a bit. And I need to replace the internal battery for Pokemon Emerald, because that's a Pokemon game I own but never got around to finishing. Yeah. I do like my Pokemon. I'm also kinda excited for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It seems to me that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is gonna be the derpy Pokemon generation. I already love some of the designs. And with a bit of luck, I am very hopeful it's not gonna be a DLC fest. But like Sword and Shield turned out to be. Also, this is floor 20. I do have to look for a Miltank. I also need to look out for the exit because I haven't found that either. I'm basically only looking at the new Pokemon releases. But that's mostly because they're a bit derpy and they're actually kind of fun to look at. But I don't really follow anything else of the news about the games. It's just I'm curious about the Pokemon. I mean, they have some like they're a bit like the ones that have been showcased. Some of them are a bit stupid, but they're like stupid in a likable and lovable way. And like there's some of those that I can already see becoming a very popular plushie. Yeah, one of my favorite ones is it's not a starter, but it's a Pokemon that has been announced. It's called Lechonk. Like, why not? Lechonk. They like went online, looked at internet memes, and then made the decision a Pokemon should be called Lechonk. But yeah, also the names sound a bit derpy, but that's because the entire... Yeah, but that's because the entire region was based on like Spain and Portugal, so a lot of the names are actually have strong hints of Spanish and Portuguese. But yeah, Lechonk is always a good one. I think a lot of people are gonna get a Lechonk in their I'm predicting a lot of Lechonk playthroughs just for the meme. And like, the cross-type starter already needed a redesign because its original design gave it a marijuana leaf on his face. Which, we can't have that in Pokemon. But because that design... Yeah, but that's like, it has like a leaf pattern on its face. And like, originally it had like the same shape as a marijuana leaf. That design was up for about an hour before it got corrected. But it still got that started the nickname Marijuana Cat. Because, of course, I mean... why not? I am now having to stand here and wait for a Miltank. This is actually kind of obnoxious. Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of the time when vitamins were called drugs. When they like just... Oh, that was unfortunate. Okay, let's see if I can position the Kangaskhan slightly better. Like, it reminds me of a time when gambling was still allowed in the games and, you know, the vitamins were still just called what they actually are, drugs. But yeah, I mean, they do have to keep the game rated for children. But I would like... Questionable choices, yeah. Yeah, I remember when like the games came out that when I got Pokemon Fire Red, my parents were against me playing the slots, but they also understood that it was actually a necessary game mechanic, so whenever I needed something from the casino, that meant I had to hand my game to my dad, and my poor dad had to sit through playing the slots until he got enough coins to get what I wanted. And then later on they just made the decision I should just play them myself. Yeah, that's because my parents actually, believe it or not, looked up information online. In the beginning at the library and later on at home about games that I wanted to have. My parents actually, before I was given a game, would do their research. Same went for movies and television series. They would do the research. Which, like, as a child, I absolutely hated it because that meant... Yeah, but as a child, I absolutely, like, hated it because that meant I wasn't given the same games as other children my age were. On the other hand, I now understand why they did it. Well, no milk tank for me. I'll take the gas and go to floor 30. But it also like resulted in some weird things as well, because sometimes that meant that series for adults were considered more child friendly than the actual children's series. For instance, I was permitted to watch Thunderbirds, MASH, The A-Team, Knight Rider, and Addams Family, and Allo Allo. But Batman the Animated Series, nope, that one crossed the line. So yeah, it also forced my poor dad to watch Star Wars with me in the summer holiday. Because, like, back then when it was still six movies, they had this thing that, like, on every like, once a week in the summer holiday they would, like, broadcast one movie, and I wanted to watch them. And my parents made the decision I could watch them, but not without adult supervision. And seeing as we weren't going on holiday that year, they did permit me to watch them, but it also forced my dad to sit through them with me on what was for him just a regular weekday. And it's the reason I now remember entire scenes of Star Wars with my dad snoring in the middle. But still. No, it's not that he isn't fond of it. The problem is more, if you have to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, then the last thing you want is on a Wednesday, not even a Wednesday, I believe it was like a Thursday evening, to sit with your child through a movie that lasts until 11:30 in the evening. Like, that was just the issue, was just, they were in the middle of the week. And for him, they were work days, and he actually did, like, had to get up at 5:30. So, yeah, and then you have this child that wants to watch Star Wars. So adult supervision simply meant my dad snoring in the other chair and me watching them. So on second thought, it's probably the same as without supervision. Like, on second thought, they should have just given me like a bag of crisps and like a bit of soda and told me to turn off the lights after I was done. But yeah. Oh well, on the other hand, you can also see it from this perspective. Not that many people's parents. Yeah, but it gets even worse because he actually had to pre-watch them to judge. So he had already seen all 6 the month before. To pass judgment on whenever or not, like, Star Wars in my country is rated, I believe, 16 years and older. And I was like 8 at the time. So I was about half the recommended age, so he first had to like watch them to make sure they weren't too brutal, and then he also had to watch them with me because my parents had an issue with me staying up to that late. Yeah. But hey, at least like, at least attempts were made, at least it wasn't just a clear at least I wasn't just told no. No, if a movie had parts that my parents considered unsuitable, then I just wasn't permitted to watch the movie. I mean, they were either gonna get me have the full experience or no experience. So, that was also a thing. There was no fast forwarding. If a movie was unsuited, I simply wasn't permitted to watch it. But still, I don't think I really missed things. Like, a lot of the things I wasn't permitted to watch on, like, when I look back at them as an adult, I'm just like, yeah, that wasn't child friendly. Like, that shouldn't have been a thing. Like the amount of children in my class that, for instance, got absolutely traumatized because their parents permitted them to watch a movie called Watership Down, thinking it was a cute little movie about rabbits, and then didn't realize it had actual like blood and gore in them. That it was basically an animation for adults. And that it portrayed nature the way it actually was and not like the child-friendly version. Which means that a lot of children discovered that rabbits actually fight to the death. So that was a movie that I wasn't permitted to see because my dad had read the book and knew that it wasn't child-friendly. But a lot of my classmates were because their parents just thought it was a movie about cute little bunnies. Lot of upset children the day after. So it might be a good thing that my parents did like some checks. Same goes for games. Like a game my parents had a really large amount of trouble with was GTA. Which, understandably so, until they discovered that all we did in GTA was basically trying to stack up cars as high as possible or trying to cause the biggest traffic jam. Like, not a single child that I knew that had GTA actually shot at civilians or stuff like that. Most of us were just trying to cause the biggest traffic jam. Or the biggest explosion. Like, we at some point, if we did it with multiplayer in San Andreas, could get an explosion or, like, something big enough, it would lag the PlayStation. And that somehow was fine. Because we weren't playing the game as intended, we were just trying to crash it. issue was the fact that even though it had a rating back in the day, shops were still legally permitted to sell it to somebody that wasn't old enough for the rating. Nowadays, it's not the case anymore in the Netherlands. If you are 14 and want to buy like an 18 plus game, then the store will refuse the sale. There's my mail tank! Let's go. But yeah, the rating system, let's face it, parents, if a child wants a game, parents should basically go online on whatever device they're currently holding, because let's face it. Wait, did I miscount? Oh yeah, I have one Vampy too many. Okay, yeah, that checks out. Yeah, no, I have one. I have one Vampy too many, so that checks out. But like, even nowadays with like cell phones and stuff, how difficult is it to check what game your child wants on the spot in the store? Like, how difficult can that be? It's one of the first things my parents used their internet on their cell phones for, was basically to check whenever or not a game was suited at the store. And seeing as I went to one of those designated like video games only stores, in case of doubt, they would just simply ask the store clerk if he could boot up the game. And like they have like a little check. Yeah, so if you don't at least like look it up and look up a couple of reviews and like a bit of gameplay. I mean, if you then end up with like an aggressive or traumatized child, I'm very sorry, but it's kind of your own fault in that case. And even then, like the amount of times that my mother, when I was with her at the store that like sold the games, would ask to actually have the game booted up to see if it was suited. Like, that happened every other time we went there. That my mother wanted to see like actual gameplay footage, and like the people in the store were just like, yeah sure, let's hook up the console, and they would just like hook up a console and like show some of the gameplay. Which also was great for me because it permitted me to like play through the tutorial in the store already to see if I even liked the game. That was like a great thing about that store, is just if you weren't certain if you're gonna like the game, you could just ask them and then they would like boot up a console and they would just let you play for like 30 minutes. Like in 30 minutes you have a decent enough idea whenever or not you're gonna like it. And your parents will have a decent enough idea whenever or not you can actually, you know, play it. I'm also probably one of the few children whose parents actually kept track of what consoles I owned. Like, not everything. Yeah, but that was because it was like a store that only sells video games. But yeah, that was an amazing bit of service. Like, parents could see if the gameplay was suited. Children could see if the game was any fun, because let's face it, commercials are quite often the best part of the entire game. Especially nowadays, like quite often the finished game doesn't even resemble what's shown in the commercials. Like, that's a thing. Also, my parents actually kept track of which consoles I had, so I never got games. Yeah. And like the pre-rendered cutscenes, those just annoy me. Like, I remember the time that a commercial was just a bit of gameplay footage that was just recorded from the game. But let's face it, if you have a game like this nowadays, there's no way to make that exciting for the children anymore. Also nowadays with like digital downloads, it's much more difficult. But even then, even nowadays with everything is like being a digital download, it's still not an excuse because when I got my Xbox One, even though it was a second-hand one, after I like reset it back to factory settings, one of the first questions I got was, do you want to install a parental lock for games purchases and all that kind of stuff? So even with things being digital, yeah, but I have to say though, like the pixel art games have been growing in popularity recently again. But that's mostly though like made by like a dev team of like 10 people and actually still having good gameplay. But I can imagine that this game for children nowadays would be a bit too frustrating and a bit too cryptic. I mean, this game was frustrating and cryptic when it came out. Yeah. I do like the way how Deluxe looks. It has like a almost a hand-drawn feel to it. It looks like things were colored in with a bit of watercolor. And then when it comes down to pixel games, and then out of nowhere you have games like Shovel Knight, which is a indie title out of nowhere blowing up and becoming popular. Also, I got what I came here for. I wanted the Vulpix. So, like this style of game isn't dead, it's just, it's got a different audience nowadays. For how much as I like the 3D models and like the coloring of XD. Yeah, my problem with XD is just I don't like the Pokemon Super I just like don't like the Super Mystery Dungeon mechanics. But yeah, the pixel art sprites had a charm. They have a charm, but I can imagine it's nowadays a bit unpractical, especially seeing as I think the 3D models they used for the Mystery Dungeon remake might have been the regular models they have been using for the mainline games. I think those are the same ones. Also, I'm already glad enough they remembered Mystery Dungeon was a series they have, because Ranger has been completely forgotten. Which was a bit of a shame, because because let's face it, Ranger on Wii U would have been amazing. Like, if they would have released a Ranger game on Wii U with like the gamepad, that would have been borderline amazing. And that was somehow something I was looking forward to on the Wii U. Was I've always said to myself, if they release Pokemon... Yeah, but like direct hand, like carpet tunnel is fixable. And for the screen, was I the only child with screen protectors on it? Like, that was one of the first things if I bought a console myself like that, my parents would buy the screen protectors to make sure that I didn't have to send it in for repairs. That often, at least. Like, in my opinion, one of the best consoles to play Ranger on was the... I did. And it was quite often one of the few purchases for a new gaming console that my parents would buy me, because they also understood that it was important to preserve the console and the longevity. Yeah. Also, switching your stylus before it starts scratching up. Like, those DS styluses didn't really have the best lifespan. But one of the most comfortable things to like play Pokemon Ranger on, in my opinion, was I had a DS IXL with like the thicker stylus. That was so comfortable to play Pokemon Ranger on. And I'm low-key kinda regretting getting rid of that console. Because I like sold it off to like get the 3DS, but I'm kinda regretting not keeping my DSi XL, because that was such a comfortable console. Also, I needed a Firestone. I actually bought a packet of like DS styluses actually by Nintendo. I had it because I had a DS Lite, which I had played so much with that it actually stopped working. I broke my DS Lite because I played so much with it. So yeah, I kinda had to get a DSi. There we have Ninetales. Let's stripe off that evolution set. And now I have to get into Dark Knight Relic. Because I need 2 Hunters, a Shovet and a Duskull, which I can luckily all get in Dark Knight Relic. Well, in my case, it would overheat. Like, have you ever heard of an issue with a DSi overheating? That's just the amount of time I put into it that, like, whatever cooling system was in there had broken. Which is okay, I mean, I still have a 3DS. Like, it's not like I can't play my, Yeah, that was the problem. Mine would overheat, shut itself down, and then I would have to wait 3 hours before I could play again. And it would like overheat in like an hour. So it really didn't last. Like, a lot of people don't realize that that's something that could break about the DS. Neither did I until I broke it. And of course that didn't happen until like after the warranty. Nope. One of the best theories we have is I have naturally quite sweaty hands, and chances are too much moisture got into the console, or perhaps because of the fact I could drain the battery twice in a day. That thing could be in use for like 12 to 18 hours in a day. Which, also, it wasn't like I would take a break every 2 hours. I could like easily be on it for like 10 hours at a time. So yeah, that does it. Combined with, yes, I had some very heavy games. some very demanding games. Especially by DS standards. I would also play a lot of the Game Boy Advance games on it, which... Game Boy Advance games were surprisingly demanding as well back in the day, so yeah, that's how you break a DS Lite. Like, literally play it until you break it. Oh, that's an issue. I don't have anything against the shit ninja. And now my 3DS also has an issue that I can't turn the wireless communication off anymore, but that's not too great an issue. Oh, this was a mistake because I don't have anything against the Shuppets. Oh no, I have something against the Shuppets. Let's take my leave real quickly and like bring some rocks. Alright, that was a mistake. I need some rocks for the shit ninja. Come to think of it, the DS is the only console. Yeah, I luckily tend to go to anime and like gaming conventions, so people will still care about their 3DSs, but in my case, if I turn it off, then I can't turn it on again, and that also means I can't use Wi-Fi anymore on it. Oh wait, I saw a joystick. Which is kind of a shame because the 3DS was a fun console. And then they came out with the Switch and that like... That was an entirely different beast. Yeah, it had. But let's face it, basically all Nintendo consoles have a great lifespan and library, except for the Virtual Boy. That one was so shit most people don't even know it exists. Yeah, I have like, here it is, I have like the original Seafoam green one. This thing also cramps my hand. It's a bit small for adults. Yeah, I got the Seafoam green one. I could pick between this one and the black one, and I liked the green one over the black one. But what I'm hoping to do at some point is get a new 3DS XL, like the larger one, and then have it modded with a capture card so I can also stream the games. This is an option, which you have to pay for yourself, but getting them modded is about as expensive as buying the console. Like, getting a capture... yeah, I fully intend on letting somebody else sort that out, but... Oh, no, we have, like, the one that we have in the Netherlands that does that is, like, a perfectly legitimate company. Like, an actual In the Netherlands, we have, like, a couple of actual companies that do modding of consoles and building custom builds. And those are actually trustworthy. Like, because they're an actual legit company and not somebody's hobby project. But yeah, I wanna have it like modded for a capture card. So that I can like stream 3DS, DS and 3DS games. Yes! And there are like 3 or 4 of them in the country, but, well, it's the Netherlands, so the entire country isn't that big. But yeah, they do the process for you. You pay for, of course, hourly wages and like material costs. But they'll do like the modding for you. And because they're like legitimate like companies, so if they break your 3DS beyond repair, you can actually keep them liable. Yes. Yes, you just send your, you like hand your 3DS to them. You do have to pay partially up front. I mean, just to make sure you actually come and fetch it back, and then they'll mod it for you, and then you get it back and you pay the rest. So yeah, there are companies that do that for you. They're not that many, but so I would like that for streaming, but like getting a new 3DS XL, even if it's like a second-hand one, can still put me back like 300 euros. And the capture card is easily gonna cost me 300-400 euros to like buy and build in. Like, for some reason, the technology for the capture card is more expensive than the actual console. Yeah, no, these are like the ones that I can bring them to are like genuine like console repair shops that have just made a business out of repairing old consoles and accessories. So I can also bring the controllers in. One of the most common things they do is replace internal batteries for consoles and for games. But they can also, like, for instance, if I want, let's say my Super Nintendo needs some repairs, which it actually does because it's old, then they can also use actual Nintendo parts, because quite a lot of those are actually Nintendo certified. I do have to actually get the Pokemon I need here, because I need 4 Pokemon. I need a Shuppet, a Duskull, and 2 Haunters. Yes, I got the Shuppet. I really hope I can just get all the Pokemon I need in this dungeon in one go. Oh no, I theoretically can't. I can only bring 3 Pokemon and I need 4, so... Yeah, that's a good pick. I mostly just remember Regice from the anime, in which one of the Frontier Brains somehow had all 3 of the Regis. But like, there was an other one that could like call upon Articuno. Come to think of it, like the Battle Frontier part of the anime was wild. How much HP does that Miss Magius have? Yeah, that was actually like the entire thing about it was like not something you would see in the anime. Legendaries already weren't shown much in the anime. They were like a movie thing, and then you had like multiple people calling up upon him, because like one of them had full on just had the 3 Regis, and another one could call upon Articuno. So yeah, that was wild. But that was like a wild series in general, with like a lady actually liking Brock back. that was a thing. I have to admit, I don't have Ruby and Sapphire, and I never beat Emerald. And even then, I heard the Reggies in like Emerald, in like Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were like a disaster to go after because you needed to know like Braille. Which back in those days meant you had to go to your local library and look it up. But yeah, it does have something mysterious. Could you not? I need the friend bow. But yeah, that was a wild season of the anime with like... And then like that guy Scott that they traveled with that like would show up to like watch Ash's, like the matches that Ash had, like turned out to be the owner of that entire ID and shit like that. Yeah, in my class nobody had that luxury, so a lot of us had to go to the library and like look it up. Which caused the like the lady of the library to like wonder if there was like a new blind child that had like transferred to school because everybody was interested in it, and then we actually had to explain to her that it was for a video game. But yeah. Yeah, at least we spent time in the library. Yeah, have a good dinner. I mean, I'm almost done streaming for today anyway, so... Yeah, thank you very much for coming here and like talking to me as well. I mean, it doesn't happen too often. But yeah, have a good dinner and till next time then. I was hoping that I get slightly more out of this dungeon than just a shepherd. Oh, come on, hit the Sableye. There we go. I have to admit, I am looking forward to playing a different game on stream. But I am also looking forward to being able to say I beat Mystery Dungeon and that there's just nothing left in the game to do, basically. I mean, it's my first Pokemon game. It's been long overdue, especially seeing as I'm usually a bit of a completionist. I think that after this I'm gonna whip out the old Super Nintendo. Like, that was my first console and I still don't have the games beaten for that thing, so... I'll perhaps something else. I mean, I've got choices. And about the having been at it for ages, it's only been 120, 130 hours. Like, it's not that much. Especially if you take into consideration that I have a game in which I just rolled the timer back to 0. After about 1,000 hours. I should do that game. Like, for shits and giggles one day, because... a game in which you have rolled the timer, that's too many hours in it. It also means that game has over 1,000 hours in it. And let's see, I got Duskull, I got Shuppet. Yeah, I think I should just accept that that's just gonna be it. Yeah, let's just get these two out and then just end the stream there because the two hunters are gonna take a little while. Oh. Oh. Word. Please cooperate. I know you're a Windows program, but... There we are. I'd say I've made good progress. Got everything I needed from Furnace Desert, everything I still needed from Safari, which now only requires 2 evolutions for it to be finished, and made a start on Darkness Ridge. I have the Pineco, I just have to evolve it. Yeah, no, I'm pleased with the progress I made. I finished that Furnace Desert. I now have the entirety of Safari, I only have to evolve 2 Pokémon. And then... I only need 2 Hunters for Darkness Ridge and 1 Sneasel. So yeah, I'm pleased with today's progress. So yeah, thank you all very much for coming, hope you had a good day. Next stream is gonna be tomorrow, it's the 1 hour long stream. And again, coming in the new month, those streams are gonna be the vocal synth streams again, because I can now finally afford to buy the program that I need to create off vocals of songs that don't have one. So I'm gonna be doing that from next month on, but until that time it's more Mystery Dungeon. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you all very much. Until next time. Bye!